Hey, it's Kevin Lawton with the New Warehouse podcast here at MODEX 2022 in the booth. We're on day 3, and I'm joined by John Dwinell of Siena Analytics. He is the CEO over there. He's the big guy on campus, right? So, John, welcome to the booth. How are you today?
I'm doing all right. It's been a great show.
Yeah. How have you enjoyed the show so far? We're on day 3, right? So,
Yeah, getting my steps in, and
yeah.
we've had a lot of great talks with customers and with partners. So really enjoy getting back together finally.
Yeah, I think that's the big thing everybody's saying. Like, it's nice to see so many people together in one place, especially with, kind of 2 years stuck at home, right? And so it's good to see everybody coming out. So you're with Siena Analytics. So tell us a little bit about Siena and what it is you guys do.
Yeah, so Siena is a software company. We're really focused inside the 4 walls of the warehouse. And we look at product as it comes into the building and as it goes out of the building. And we leverage the camera sensors that are in an automated warehouse. Okay. So we have pictures of every single package, all 6 sides, and all of that data.
Yeah. Wow, so you're definitely getting a lot of data if you're getting all 6 sides of a package. That's pretty incredible. So now talk to us a little bit about how, I guess, the platform and the analytics actually work. So you're putting the sensors into the warehouse itself?
So we're really software. The sensors are either there or coming in. Gotcha. And they come from the other suppliers who specialize in that. And then we put the software on top and capture all of that information. And it helps give a lot of visibility to the flow of product and the pinch points and where things are running efficiently and where not.
Yeah. So now, obviously, maybe some people are listening and saying, like, wow, a picture of every package is like, I have thousands of packages a day. What for someone that maybe is operating at this point, obviously not with that level of analytics or data into their operation. Talk to us about what are the benefits of bringing that level of data analytics in, and what kind of benefits can they see from being able to digest that type of information?
Yeah, it's a great question. We have some customers, very large operations, very sophisticated. We have other situations where a customer has gone from being a pure manual operation to just starting to bring in some automation just to help with the throughput. And where our software comes in is it gives them the visibility. And especially when you're making that first entry into automation, there's a lot to learn. And so being able to see everything, you'll understand where things didn't go right. And you can go back and start to put corrective actions in place.
Right.
So that visibility really helps them out a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So now tell us a little bit about how the platform itself works from the software side. So you're harnessing these data points from the automation that's already been put in place, and now how obviously generating tons of data points, right? So one thing about data, I think, is for operations managers and things of that nature, sometimes looking at a ton of data can be quite daunting, right? Or it can be intimidating in a sense. Like you're seeing all these things and you're kind of just like, where do I even begin, right? So with the software aspect, how are you guys taking this data and making it digestible for the operation?
Yeah, that's really important, right? There's a tremendous amount of data, and but it's all time sequence, when it came in and also what type of product. So we end up indexing on many different categories. So if you want to search for a product by a given product type or a certain time frame, then there's really simple dashboards for operators to use and people to find what they're looking for, filter on problems or conditions, all that information that we've extracted. And of course, a big part for us is AI models that are running at the edge that are looking at every single package and identifying all the features, the good and the bad. And then you can use that information as well to go and search what you need to find.
Right, absolutely. And you guys are utilizing the AI in there, as you mentioned. And so now with the AI, I think a lot of people are probably still maybe not totally grasping how AI is being utilized in our space and what maybe the benefit of it is. So talk to us a little bit about how AI kind of comes into play and really kind of maybe give us like a use case of a customer that's using it now, and how it's benefiting them.
Sure. Yeah, AI is still very intimidating for people.
Yeah.
It's new, and so we really try to have the tools around it, and so that takes some of that, really that getting started challenges away from it.
Yeah.
But some of the biggest applications is, let's say, you really want to understand when if your read rates are not as high as you'd expect them to be. You want to understand why.
Right.
So you need, some packages are successful reads and some unsuccessful, but you really want to break down, well, why? What's causing that?
Right.
What can I do to fix? So that with our AI models, we can identify all the different reasons, and some of them there's nothing you can do about. Some of them it's good to know, right?
Yeah.
And many of them you can fix. So AI helps you with that, and then there's an awful lot centered around the packages aren't exactly the way you're expecting them. So they may not be labeled right. They may not be packaged the way that you expected. They may not be the dimensions that you expected.
Yeah.
And so all of that information becomes very helpful as you go to try to improve and add more automation. Automation depends on that information being right. So we can identify where it isn't right, and you can correct that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's something that's interesting. And obviously we're seeing AI be more prevalent in our industry. And I think there's other things obviously that we use that are AI that in our everyday lives that maybe we realize are not AI based and things of that nature. But why do you think AI is becoming such a big thing for supply chain in general, and why is that such like a hot topic for us?
Yeah, so I think it really comes down to visibility at scale. Operations, now the volumes keep going up, and with e-commerce, with the changes that are happening in the supply chain, trying to get more product through a warehouse, the volumes are too high for people to manually be handling the exceptions and all the problems. And AI allows you to look at every single package and get that information, but do it at scale. Otherwise, people are left to just sample small subsets and try to extrapolate where things might be. So it's really the ability to work at scale in real time.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because obviously, as we've been talking about, there's tons of data being generated in the supply chain, material handling industry in general, and being able to harness all that data as an individual, a person just trying to get through it and all those different things, you really can't. It's not really. You could, I guess, but you're wasting a lot of time where you could be doing something a lot more value added, right? So obviously when AI comes into place, like you said, it helps you to scale more and be able to handle all those different types of things. So talk us through a little bit. So a company, comes to Siena Analytics, and they don't have something like you guys offer beforehand. So talk us through, what it looks like, kind of a previous state to then current state or after you guys implement.
Sure. So we'll generally just start a new customer with something simple, capturing the data in the basic analytics, so they can start to get that feedback. And then as they understand where there are pain points, we can come back and add more intelligence, add AI models as they need them, so that they make the right decisions on where to put those investments. But we're able to drop our software right into an existing system, start collecting that data right away. Even if there's other data sources, we can take that in and then start to integrate it into the dashboards that really meet the needs that they have.
Okay. And then obviously, you're looking at these different types of things, and you mentioned, being able to take corrective actions and make improvements and things of that nature. So do you have any examples of customers that have, brought you guys in and then really been able to take an action that made a big impact for them?
Sure. So unfortunately, our biggest customers, we're not able to name that.
Yeah, you don't have to say the name.
But
I know that.
Working on that. So I think some of the best applications have been around really helping them optimize the automation that they have. So let's say the dimensions of the packages aren't what they expect, and they can start to correct that. knowing what suppliers' products are going to best fit with what automation lines they have, so they get the most out of it, and drive that product to the automated lines and take other product where they know they have to do a lot of manual handling.
Yeah.
They can know that ahead of time. They can plan for it. Being able to handle exceptions, because the AI can tell you what packages are exceptions, and then you can automate that handling rather than overwhelming an exception.
Yeah.
Some of the most common applications for us.
All right. Yeah. I think it's a great thing, because being able to identify those issues, and especially as we look at an operation, we're constantly moving, right? And we're constantly needing to fulfill these orders, and nothing is ever slowing down, right? Especially now after everything is going on. So to be able to have something that can call out those exceptions, like you mentioned, to you, and then be able to just focus on those exceptions instead of having to just take, I think you mentioned earlier, taking just sample sets and looking to see what's going on in there. Having them called out and having a system that's actually able to just take those and point them out, I think is certainly a huge thing, and being able to take those corrective actions in a meaningful way, and continue with that improvement, and being able to bring things to light and make a bigger impact on the operation. So the really interesting stuff that you guys are doing. Obviously AI is pretty new in a sense, right? Coming into the industry, and we're seeing a lot of innovation and technology here at MODEX. So how do you see AI kind of evolving in our space, and where do you think kind of the next step for AI involvement is going to be?
Yeah, I think we're really at the very beginning of
Right.
this, and there's really been tremendous opportunity. So as time goes on, I think material handling is getting more and more automated, more and more robotics.
Yeah.
But you need the visibility to all of that, right? So it helps you scale without necessarily adding as many people, which is really a challenge. And but with that, you still need to have the understanding of what's flowing well and where to make those investments. So that visibility is really helpful. And then I think in the industry there's a big move towards better standards, or you leveraging the standards, and so that there can be much more powerful track and trace capabilities. It's a big push, and I think the barcoding standards continue to evolve, and there's a lot of work being done there to get the whole supply chain better integrated, so that there's more information about the whole flow. You can see problems earlier on and predict where the downstream effects are going to happen. So all that data starts to really spread out and be shared across the supply chain.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting note there you said at the end, kind of about being able to predict what impacts might have downstream, and I think that's a great thing, because sometimes we do see where errors happen or something like upstream, and then it doesn't get caught or it doesn't get realized until sometimes maybe it's too late, right? And you want to avoid that, especially when you're doing high volume and you're so concerned with customer satisfaction as well. You want to make sure that they're getting that right thing. So being able to see that kind of unfold and see those downstream impacts ahead of time, I think it will be a really interesting thing to see develop in the industry. So John, thank you so much. I really appreciate the insights on AI and Siena Analytics here as well. So thank you for coming by the booth. And if people want to learn more about Siena Analytics, how can they do that?
Absolutely. We're here at booth 2707. Stop on by. We'd love to talk to you.
Okay. And if they're not here at the show, how can they learn more about Siena?
SienaAnalytics.com, and ask for a demo. We'd love to show our product and talk to you about it, what challenges you have.
All right, great. And we'll put all that information at thenewwarehouse.com as well. So, John, thank you once again for stopping by the booth, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Kevin. It's great talking to you today.